Self-love is your best emotional protection. It's not a trendy phrase or a simple motivational tip. It's a profound truth that Carl Jung understood as the key to psychological balance and personal fulfillment. Without self-love, we become slaves to others' opinions, victims of harmful relationships, and prisoners of our own insecurities. Jung called the process of individuation the path to integrating our authentic selves, the recognition of our shadows and the total acceptance of who we are. Without this process, we wear ourselves out emotionally, seeking validation from others and disconnecting from our essence. From childhood, we learn to seek approval. We're taught to be good, to fit into certain molds, to please others. But rarely are we taught to love ourselves. We grow up believing love must come from outside, that we need acceptance from society, family, friends, or a partner to feel worthy. Without realizing it, we become puppets of others' expectations. Every rejection wounds us, every criticism destabilizes us, and every relationship defines us more than it should. Jung said the human being is made up of many facets, and one of the most powerful is the shadow. The shadow is the part of us we deny, repress, because we were taught it's unacceptable. Our fears, insecurities, hidden desires, everything that makes us feel vulnerable. But here's the key. The shadow doesn't disappear if you ignore it. The more you repress it, the more power it has over you. It shows up in your relationships, your decisions, and above all, in your lack of self-love. Think of a relationship where you felt belittled or unappreciated. Maybe it was a friendship where you always gave more than you received, or a romantic relationship where, despite your efforts, you felt it was never enough. Jung would say this isn't a coincidence. It's a reflection of your unconscious, of the parts of you that haven't been recognized or healed. When we don't love ourselves enough, we accept anything. We let others define our worth. We settle for less than we deserve. The key to changing this isn't finding someone who treats us better, demanding respect, or seeking recognition. It's going inward, facing our shadows, and rebuilding our self-esteem from the root. Self-love isn't something others can give you. It's something you must cultivate within yourself. It's an act of responsibility, a commitment to yourself. Jung said relationships are mirrors. Every person who enters our lives reflects something about us. If we constantly attract people who hurt us, belittle us, or abandon us, it's not because the world is unfair. It's because our unconscious is showing us what we haven't healed. It's saying, look at this wound, because until you heal it, you'll keep repeating this pattern. The only way to break this cycle is to face our own shadow, recognize our wounds, accept our insecurities, and instead of seeking external validation, learn to give ourselves what we've been waiting for from others. We can't control how others treat us, but we can control how we treat ourselves. When you cultivate self-love, something magical happens. Your energy changes, and with it, the people and situations you attract. You stop settling for emotional crumbs. You start setting boundaries without guilt. You discover that solitude isn't a punishment, but an opportunity to know yourself better. And above all, you understand that true love isn't what fills you because you're empty. It's what adds to a life that's already full on its own. It's not about arrogance or selfishness. It's about respect, valuing your time, your energy, your emotional well-being. Because when you don't love yourself, you give others the power to destroy you. But when you love yourself, you become invulnerable, not because nothing affects you, but because nothing external defines your worth. Most people spend their lives waiting for someone to make them feel complete. They seek the perfect partner, social recognition, success, as if any of it could fill an internal void. But the truth is, no one can give you what you don't give yourself. You can have the most loving partner in the world, but if you don't love yourself, you'll always doubt their love. You can have success and recognition, but if you don't value yourself, it'll never feel like enough. Jung taught us that fulfillment isn't found outside. It's found in the integration of all our parts, in accepting who we are with our light and shadows. When you allow yourself to be you, without masks, without fear of rejection, you discover a peace that doesn't depend on anything or anyone. And that peace is the best emotional protection you can have. If you've ever felt the world treats you unfairly, that relationships drain you, or that love always ends in pain, I want you to reflect on this. How do you treat yourself? How do you talk to yourself when you make a mistake? How do you see yourself when you look in the mirror? Because the way you treat yourself is how you teach the world to treat you. Self-love isn't a destination. It's a journey, a process where every day you choose to respect, value, and prioritize yourself. It's not selfishness. It's emotional survival. And when you truly grasp this, when you integrate this truth into your life, you'll discover that the most important love, the one that truly saves you, is the one that's always been inside you. When you start integrating self-love into your life, something profound shifts in how you relate to others. You stop looking to be saved. You stop expecting someone to fill your emotional voids because you realize no one else has that power over you. You discover that the love you've been searching for has always been within you, waiting to be recognized. But this isn't an easy process because it means breaking patterns you've repeated for years, even since childhood. Before moving forward, I want to mention that my book is now available. It's full of tips and techniques to help you overcome emotional blocks and love yourself more. Find the link in the description and pinned comment. Let's continue. From a young age, we learn our worth depends on how others see us. We're praised when we do well, scolded when we fail. We get used to measuring our value through others' eyes, and without realizing it, we become addicted to external approval. But Jung taught us that true individuation, true awakening, happens when we stop relying on what others think of us and start living from our inner truth. When we lack self-love, we live in fear. Fear of rejection, fear of not being enough, fear of losing those around us. This fear leads us to accept situations that hurt us, tolerate relationships where we're not valued, settle for less than we deserve. But what's truly scary isn't losing others. It's losing ourselves trying to please them. Jung said the shadow is the reflection of everything we don't want to see in ourselves. Often our lack of self-love is a manifestation of the shadow. We punish ourselves for our mistakes, judge ourselves harshly, convince ourselves we're not good enough. But what's really hurting us isn't the mistakes themselves. It's our inability to accept ourselves with them. Every time you stay where you're not valued, you're teaching your unconscious that your well-being isn't a priority. Every time you let someone cross your boundaries without consequences, you're telling your mind it's okay to be hurt. But you can change that pattern. You can start building a new relationship with yourself based on respect, dignity, and authenticity. When you truly love yourself, the dynamics of your relationships shift. You no longer feel the need to cling to people who don't reciprocate. You don't try to convince anyone to value you. You don't waste energy on one-sided relationships, not because you become cold or uncaring, but because you understand love isn't something you beg for. When you don't love yourself, you become an easy target for emotional manipulation. People who see you don't value yourself will exploit that weakness. They'll make you feel you depend on them, that without their love or approval, you're nothing. But that's not love, it's control. And the only antidote is self-love. Because when you love yourself, when you truly know and respect yourself, no one can make you doubt your worth. Self-love is the foundation of all your relationships. If you don't love yourself, you'll accept any treatment. If you do, you'll choose who you share your energy with. You won't beg for attention. You won't settle for emotional crumbs. And this doesn't mean you become cold or distant. It means you stop depending on others to feel complete. It means you love because you want to, not because you need to. Look around you. Observe the relationships in your life. Are they a reflection of the love you feel for yourself? Or are you surrounded by people who drain you, devalue you, make you feel you're not enough? The people around you are a mirror of your inner world. If you're surrounded by love, it's because you've cultivated love within. If you're surrounded by chaos, it's because there's chaos inside you. This isn't your fault. It's not something to be ashamed of, but it is something you can change. You can't expect the world to treat you with respect if you don't respect yourself. You can't expect someone to truly love you if you haven't learned to love yourself. Jung said the most important relationships in life are the ones that help us know ourselves better, that show us our shadows and invite us to integrate them. But this only happens when we're willing to do the inner work, when we stop looking outside for what we can only find within. Throughout life, You'll inevitably meet people who test you, people who make you doubt yourself, try to bring you down, question your worth. In those moments, you have two choices: believe them and keep weakening yourself, or see them as teachers showing you where you still need to strengthen. Because every time someone treats you in a way you don't deserve, it's an opportunity to reaffirm your self-love, to remember who you are and what you're worth. Self-love isn't a destination you reach and stay at. It's a daily practice. It's how you talk to yourself, the decisions you make, the boundaries you set. It's choosing not to stay where you're not valued, not accepting what doesn't resonate with you, not betraying yourself out of fear of being alone. It's having the courage to walk your own path, even if it means leaving behind people or situations that no longer serve you. Jung taught us that the greatest transformation happens when we dare to face our truth, when we stop running from ourselves and start listening. And in that process, self-love becomes our best emotional protection, because when you love yourself, you become strong, not because nothing affects you, but because nothing external defines your worth. Self-love isn't just a nice idea or an abstract concept. It's a decision that reflects in every aspect of your life. It shows in how you manage your emotions, how you face challenges, and the quality of the relationships you build. It's not something you simply have or don't have. It's something you practice constantly. Jung understood that self-love is the result of integrating all parts of our being, both the ones we like and the ones that shame us. It's a process of recognition, acceptance, and transformation. If you look closely, you'll realize most emotional problems stem from a lack of self-love. When we don't love ourselves, we feel insecure, seek validation from others, become dependent on external approval. This makes us vulnerable to manipulation, leads us into toxic relationships, and causes us to accept less than we deserve. But the most dangerous thing is that it disconnects us from ourselves. We get lost searching for love outside when the only true source of love is within us. Think of the times you let someone treat you in a way that made you feel small. Why did you accept it? Out of fear of loneliness? Because you felt you didn't deserve better? Because you believed love means sacrifice? Jung would say behind those decisions is an unrecognized shadow, a part of you that still believes you need to suffer to be worthy of love. But the truth is, real love doesn't come from suffering. You don't have to earn the right to be loved. You don't have to prove anything to anyone to deserve respect and dignity. When you value yourself, rejection no longer destroys you. Others' opinions lose their power over you. Solitude stops being a threat because you've learned to enjoy your own company. Jung said the journey of individuation is the process of becoming who you truly are, shedding the masks and imposed expectations. When you start loving yourself, you realize how often you betrayed yourself just to fit in. How many times you said yes when you wanted to say no. How many times you put others' needs above your own. And in that moment, you begin to make changes, not out of resentment, but out of love. From the conscious decision to treat yourself with the same compassion and respect you expect from others. Self-love doesn't mean nothing will ever hurt you, that you'll never face rejection or failure. But it does mean that when those moments come, you won't let them define your worth. It means that when someone chooses to leave, you won't beg for their presence. That when life tests you, you'll trust your ability to overcome it because you've built a solid foundation within yourself. Because you know that no matter what happens, you are enough. The path to self-love isn't linear. Some days you'll feel strong, others you'll doubt yourself. But every time you choose to prioritize yourself, every time you treat yourself with respect, every time you put yourself first without guilt, you're reaffirming that love. You're telling your unconscious you deserve more, that you're not willing to accept less than your worth. And when you do that, the world responds in turn. You start attracting people who reflect that love, relationships that add to your life instead of subtract. There may be moments when you feel like you're losing something. Maybe certain friendships fade. Maybe some relationships cool off. Maybe some bonds break. But this isn't a loss, it's a purification. Self-love isn't just about attracting the good. It's about letting go of what no longer serves you. It's about releasing those who can't love you the way you deserve, without bitterness, without resentment, just with the certainty that you deserve more. When you start living from self-love, you realize something powerful. You no longer need external validation to feel complete. Others' opinions stop carrying the same weight because now you know your worth isn't determined by how others see you, but by how you see yourself. This doesn't mean you become indifferent or uncaring. It means you no longer base your self-esteem on external acceptance. And when you achieve this, you free yourself from one of the most common human traps, the fear of rejection. Jung said one of the most destructive forces in the unconscious is the fear of being excluded, of not belonging. This fear drives us to do things we don't want, to say yes when we mean no, to stay where we're not happy. But when you love yourself, you realize the only belonging that truly matters is the one you have with yourself. You don't need to fit into molds that aren't for you. You don't need to change your essence to be accepted. You don't need to give up who you are to receive love. Self-love is the foundation of your energy. Everything you do, every action, every decision is influenced by the level of love you have for yourself. If you love yourself, you care for yourself, respect yourself, make decisions aligned with your well-being. If you don't, you neglect yourself. Let others mistreat you, make choices that harm you. That's why Jung said the shadow must be integrated, because until you recognize your own patterns, you'll keep attracting situations and relationships that reflect your wounds. When you lack self-love, you become easy prey for toxic relationships. You accept mistreatment because deep down you believe it's what you deserve. You cling to people who don't value you because you think you're not enough without them. But when you start loving yourself, when you truly understand your worth, you realize love isn't suffering. Love isn't a struggle. Love isn't pain. True love is peace, respect, balance. And if a relationship makes you feel less, if you constantly have to fight for your place, then that's not love. It's dependency. Fear of loneliness is one reason many stay in harmful. But here's the truth. When you learn to enjoy your own company, when you feel good with yourself, loneliness stops being a problem. You stop seeking refuge in unsatisfying relationships. You stop accepting less than you deserve. You stop letting others determine your happiness. And when you achieve this, when you truly love yourself, your energy shifts. You stop attracting people who prey on your lack of self-esteem. You stop settling for the bare minimum. You no longer need someone to choose you because you've chosen yourself first. Relationships built from self-love are entirely different. They're based on reciprocity, respect, mutual admiration. They're no longer bonds of need, but of choice. It's no longer fear of being alone that ties you to someone, but a genuine desire to share. And this transforms your life, because when you surround yourself with people who value you, respect you, inspire you, your energy rises. And when your energy rises, your entire life changes. Self-love is the filter through which you experience life. If you love yourself, your world becomes a reflection of that love. If you don't, Jung said, everything that happens in life is a reflection of our psyche. If we experience chaos outside, it's because there's something within us that needs healing. If we keep facing the same obstacles, it's because there are lessons we haven't learned. And the most important lesson of all is this: your relationship with yourself determines everything else. How you treat yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you see yourself, that defines the quality of your life. Because the way you love yourself becomes the way the world loves you. This is the moment to make a decision. You can keep looking outside for what you can only find within, or you can start today to build a solid relationship with yourself, to treat yourself with respect, speak to yourself with kindness, surround yourself with people who truly value you. And every time fear tries to make you doubt, remember this: self-love is the best emotional protection you can have. Because when you love yourself, no one can make you feel less, because you know exactly who you are and what you're worth. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to join this movement, to share it with someone who needs it, someone going through a tough time, someone who needs to remember their worth. Leave your comment below. Tell me which part of this message touched you most, what action you'll take today to start loving yourself more. Subscribe if you haven't already and turn on the bell so you don't miss any transformative messages like this. Every time you engage with this content, you're helping more people find this message, helping more people awaken, helping more people discover their true worth. Together, we can create a community where self-love is the foundation of everything, where no one has to beg for love, where we all learn to be our best selves. The change starts with you, and today you have the chance to take that first step. Do you dare?